Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into another video on TK's Tech Corner. Today we're going to be taking a look at another game controller. This time it's not a game controller that's geared towards mobile devices, it's more for PC and Nintendo Switch. At least those are the formats that are listed on the actual box and also on the product page. And for that reason, they probably haven't listed formats like iOS or Android on here, but nonetheless, we're going to try it out. I've got a Nintendo Switch. I've got a tablet here as well, Android tablet. So we'll try pairing this first to the Switch because it is designed for Switch and PC. And then we'll also try it out on Android, see if it works. Maybe if you're gaming on a tablet and you want a nice, good, well-priced, fully feature-packed controller that you can use for gaming on your Android device. Maybe it's emulators or other games that support gamepad as well. You might be looking for a product like this. So this here is by a company called Pxn. The model is P50L. It comes in 3 different colors. I've gone here for a white on blue, or blue on white, I suppose. But there are other colors, very nice colors available as well. One of them is really, really nice and very unique coffee type color. So definitely worth checking them out. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go on the website and pick one that tickles your fancy. Just before I open this up, the features here listed on the box immediately we can see are compatible with Switch and PC, supporting both wireless and wired connection, which is great. So you don't have to wait for it to charge up. You can plug it in and just carry on playing. They've got an app on this for this as well. So I have installed the app on the Android tablet and just click through all the basic setup stuff. So it should be ready to go when we pair this with that device. So that we can actually make use of the macro buttons and the turbo modes and see what customizations this have. Now this product is offering one thing through the app different to what I've seen with other controllers of this format that I've reviewed for consoles and PCs and all sorts of stuff like the GameSirs, Easy SMXs. One interesting thing that I'm going to come to in a short while. What else has it got on it in terms of features? It says supports one-touch button wake up on Nintendo Switch. Most of the Switch controllers do. You press the home button or the equivalent of a home button and it's going to go and wake up the Switch. So you don't have to keep pulling out the dock and pairing it before you can use it. It's ready to go, which is great. It's got a 6-axis gyro, as most Switch controllers do. It has turbo buttons I mentioned already. Asymmetric dual motors with adjustable vibration sensitivity, intensity. We should be able to do that hopefully from the app. And it's got a 550 milliamp battery on this thing as well. And I think the battery takes about 2 hours to charge according to their information, but will give you an estimated 20 hours of usage. So fairly generous battery built into the device there as well. So what we should do is we'll go ahead and crack this thing open and just set it up and see what it's all about really. Once I've got it open, I'm going to talk about that exciting thing that I didn't mention yet. Hopefully you find it as exciting as I did. Nice packaging here. We've got a bit of a cardboard insert to protect the device, stop it from moving around in transit. The controller there, which looks like a nice size, and in a nice foam bag to protect it. Some paperwork that we may or may not need. Let's see how that goes. And I think we're going to have a USB cable. That's it. That's the box done. Let me just get that out. I don't know if it's A to C or C to C. Let's just have a look. It's an A to C cable for charging and also for wired play. But you're not going to be using that wired cable if you're playing on your Switch, because that implies that you're going to be sitting very, very close to the dock, because that's where the A port is. And that may not be a data cable. That might just be a charging cable. Who knows? I'll just get the box out of the way quickly and let's get this thing out of the packaging. Right, I like the sort of roundish feel it's got going on to it. Immediately I'm remembering a PlayStation controller because they have rounded grips like this. Very, very smooth front to back. Let's just make our way around the device and see what we've got. So we've got a D-pad, which is not flat. It's slightly convex in shape. Feels comfortable and is a nice size. And it's got quite a satisfying feedback. Not micro switches, these feel like conductive pads, but they have got a nice responsive feel to them. Doesn't feel too spongy, isn't loud, isn't clicky, just a good all-rounded, well-rounded D-pad is what I'm initially getting there. Dual analog Hall effect sticks here. and I think we'll have Hall effect sticks and triggers on these. I think, pretty sure about that. I will just check that for you. The analog sticks here, Hall effect sticks, you can see the blue and white color theme going on there. It's really nice. These are convex, which is not my preference, but they're large size and they're not super protruding out. They're just a little bit curved out from the flat, and your thumb does still rest and nestle nicely in there. And then on the sides of them, we've got a smooth finish, no textured grip on the sides at all. So not sure if that's going to be a problem or not until we do some long gaming sessions. But nonetheless, they are comfortable, full size analog sticks there. We've got the ABXY buttons. So, you know, it's for PC and Switch. So ABXY makes sense. And I think these buttons are actually in order of the Switch format, I think, if I remember correctly now. So plus minus buttons for the menu options, a home button that will hopefully act as a home button for Switch as well. This one is going to probably be a button for pairing, and we've got a battery meter just under it as well to show battery life, 4 separate indicators to show percentage of battery available, and this may be a screenshot button here, I reckon. Coming to the top of the device, we've got that's going to be a sync pairing button, similar to what we've got on the actual Pro controller. The buttons here, so we've got left and right buttons here, which are the bumpers are, I think they're curving around enough. So I've always mentioned that I like buttons that curve around a little bit on the top. They're not too far in at all. They're actually a nice distance out. They're sitting quite high up, and I'm able to hit them with the corners of my finger whilst they're resting on the D-pad. So for me, that's absolutely fine. Not too much finger movement going on there. And these sticks here, now, they do feel like analog sticks. They move like analog sticks, but there seems to be a bit of a linear press there. I don't know what's going on there, if it's analog or not. It may not be, and it may be that I've got to just check the specifications on these. But they don't feel like analog sticks that used to be. Now, the Switch Pro controller doesn't have analog triggers, so these also may not have analog triggers on them. We'll soon find out because we're going to test it out anyway. But to me, these don't feel like analog triggers, which again isn't a bad thing. There's a reason why, if they're not analog, that they're not analog, because most of the games you're playing on Switch don't support analog triggers anyway, and are games that will want a faster actuation when you're using the triggers anyway. So some benefit there. We'll try it out. I'll hit the power button in a minute, but let's just go around to the back. We've got 2 programmable macro buttons on the back, which is an interesting placement. They're not completely flat against the back, they're angled slightly so you can see your fingers will find them. And when you're holding the joypad, your fingers find them quite easily, to be honest. And another nice thing about these, they're a bit small, but it's not a deal breaker. The nice thing is I can trigger them by pressing them sideways like that. I don't have to just push straight down on them, so I can just pull them towards the inside of the grip like that, and they are triggering. Is when you are, intensely engrossed in your game and you're gripping here, standard grips, there's no way you're going to hit those buttons by accident. So you're going to be, you're going to have an intent to press those buttons before you're going to press those buttons, which is nice. And they are easy to find. You just literally slide your finger around like that, because it's got this little ridge on it. Your finger's catching it very, very nicely, and they do feel very comfortable. C-port on the top for charging, and also wide connectivity. So let's go and turn this thing on. Let's get the switch on as well. Hopefully it's got some charge. If it hasn't, I'll grab a battery pack. Let me just turn this thing on quickly. The Nintendo 64 is on. So hopefully I can, mind you, it should just find this now. Do I press the sync button? Do I press this button to wake it up? Come on, wakey wakey. I think I'm going to have to go and grab a battery pack. This is the problem with unboxing stuff on the channel there and then, is sometimes, and it doesn't happen very often, if there's no charge in a device, what do you do? Right? It's working. It's paired. So good old Switch detects a Pro controller, and away you go. The buttons are correct. Now I'll press this button to see if it acts as the home button. it does not. I'll press the actual home button. The home button does act as a home button. You can see I've been going through the old collection there. Let's fire up Zelda, only because Zelda's in there. Yeah, we'll close the N64 app. Put that in front there so you can see what's going on. Hopefully my hands aren't getting in the way. I'll select the user, that's me. I'll put some volume up, not that you'll be able to hear it, probably more for me than anything else. And we'll try out the gyro, and then what we'll do, we'll get this onto Android device and we'll try out the app, see what's going on there, see what we can configure. Maybe we'll come back to this, maybe we won't, depends on how long the video goes on for. I don't like to make these too long, but I also don't like to miss too much information. I can never cover everything in these videos. You're open to ask questions on something that I haven't covered. That's working absolutely fine, as you can see, as expected. I'll continue my game and jump on my horse and ride around a bit. We'll try out the gyro. I should test that very easily once I just go into that sort of view mode. It should be nice and easy to see what's going on. I'll get rid of the USB cable because I don't think we need that, just to keep the desk clear. Right. Now, the responsiveness is they're all conductive buttons. There's no micro switches going on here whatsoever. And the analog sticks, you can hear them. They're a bit loud, very clicky. I'll just hold it close to the microphone. So if you're trying to have a quiet gaming session, it may not be the right controller to pick up. So it's probably just worth mentioning that. Well, I do think we have analog sticks here, which is great. Maybe we'll try out some Xbox Game Pass and try it out on Forza or something. That will tell us if it's analog straight away. But you can see the controllers working there, very comfortable, very nice size, generously sized controller, and a very nice ergonomic feel. It's got a lovely shape to it. As I mentioned, these very, very, very rounded grips, generously sized, means your hand really, really naturally just wraps around them. By default, the macro button is doing something. So you can see that is acting as one of... so it's interesting. I don't know why it's just gone and decided to do that. I wonder if this is... So the interesting feature I was talking about is through the app, and we'll see this, I think, is you can program this thing, right? You can create your customized macro settings and all your settings for your controller, vibration intensity, all that good stuff. I think it's all the customization on the controller that you've done, and then you can share it via a QR code for other people to use. So it's like, this could be like a community macro thing going on here where people have, got a really, really good setting for a game, and then you want to use that rather than create your own and go through the effort of doing it all yourself because someone's already done it for you, is you go and just download it. Now that's similar to, well, it reminds me of something like, I don't know, for example, gaming on a PC, you've got your Logitech G Series gaming mouse and keyboard, and they have macros and profiles on there, right? And you can download a profile that other people have uploaded for a specific game, and it will configure your hardware, your keyboard and mouse, buttons, all of your function keys and G keys to a specific way, even the lighting, so that you can see what the buttons are in use while you're gaming, without having to go through the effort of doing it yourself. So they've got a kind of similar thing going on here, is what I'm getting, right? Analog triggers, didn't mention, just to say they've got a very, very nice curvature on them, indeed. And as you can see, if I press it very, very slightly, it's not triggering. So it is getting all the way down before it's actually activating. And for that reason, I fired my arrow there. For that reason, I do think these are analog triggers, which is a good thing, because if you're gaming on Android and playing a game that does benefit from analog triggers, then you want to make sure that you can use that feature, right? So let's just test this out quickly. That's a screenshot button. The home button works as we know. Start on select, doing its job exactly as it does on the Switch controller. And this one, I'm guessing it might be to pair or maybe something to do with the app. So on that note, let's put the Switch aside because we know that's working absolutely fine. Let's just quickly test the one button wake up. Does it work? I've pressed the home button and it works absolutely fine. Right, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to get into pairing mode and I'm going to just unlock this tablet quickly And what we're going to do is we're going to test it out on Android. So let's get this here. I've got the app here ready to go. Right before I get the app ready to go though, I'm probably going to have to go get this thing in a pairing mode. I'm going to hold that sync button and the lights are now flickering away, as you can see. So hopefully I'll be able to find the Bluetooth controller here, and it's come up, not yet. Right, I think this is going to be it because it's come up with a Chinese name. And I can't guess what else it's going to be. So let's see. Hopefully I'll get the right one. Pairing rejected, so it's not that. Refresh. Now I'm assuming I'm in a pairing mode. Now remember, Pro controller, so it has come up. I don't know what I was trying to connect to before. Allow this device to, yeah, why not? You can access my contacts. I don't know who you're going to phone, but yeah, you can access my contacts. So Android devices aren't listed, but typically with Android devices, you are going to get functionality of any Bluetooth controller working on these devices. So all seems to be working nice, as you can see. Yeah, okay, let's go and play Dead Cells just to check out how it works, and then we'll fire up the app for customization, and then we'll call it a day. I think you can kind of see that. If the volume is down or up, maybe I can get the volume up a little bit. Again, it'll be more for me than for you because it's working fine. No, I don't want to exit. Oh gosh, what did I do there? Confused with the ABXY buttons, aren't I? Might have to turn this down. I think it's a bit loud. This tablet has got awesome speakers. Too awesome. Better turn it down. Right, play, continue. Let's jump in. Let's test it out. Bit of hack and slash. Seems to be working absolutely fine, as you can see there, as expected, right? How do I open this thing? I have no idea how to open it. There's a question mark there, so I've absolutely no idea how I'm going to open this thing. Anyway. No, I don't want to. Right, that's really weird. It's the worst demo I've ever done, but you get the idea. It's working, right? Yeah. Right, let's exit. That's working absolutely fine. So it does work with Android, on Android games. Shall we quickly try it with Remote Play or Game Pass? I think we should. Since we're here, I think we should. Be rude not to. Remote Play on this device. Now, Game Pass or the Remote Play app is really lenient on Bluetooth controllers. You don't have to have an Xbox specific controller like the official PlayStation app. So generally, if you've got a Bluetooth controller connected, you're going to be okay. Let's try out Forza. It'll be interesting to see if this fires up quickly just to check out the analog sticks. I think I know what's going to happen. Control is connected, so that's from previous session. Let's go back. Let's go back into the game. And we're in. So now, am I getting, have I got analog sticks here? Analog trigger, sorry. No, I haven't. So I'm pressing it. And then it is literally picking me up here. And I can feel that button firing there. Which is really interesting. It's a really weird experience because with the Pro controller, the button travel is very, very little. You can see that there. You can see what's going on, right? And then it goes, right. So let's get into the app and see what's going on there, right? I should pause that. I shall exit. And we can just do disconnect, disconnect. Let's go into the Pxn app. Now let's see if this detects the controller. It should do. Oh, mind you, actually, because it has to be able to connect to a phone because that's how you customize this thing, right? So it is showing my controller is disconnected. That's P50S, P50L connected. So it's showing it's connected. How can you upgrade as well? Current version is the latest version, so that's nice. You can do firmware upgrades from this as well. Please customize the configuration here. You can DIY your own configuration. This is what I was talking about. So now, from a configuration perspective, I think they've got the edge here because I've not seen this on anything else. Well, I haven't played around with too many of the other apps, admittedly, but I've not seen any of this sort of profile type stuff going on. Please select the button that needs your needs. Please, okay, let's just go to mapping. Please select your macro button M1 and M2. It's flying through instructions. I cannot read that fast. It's going to circle through them. Right, I think we're going to figure this out. We're just going to figure it out. We're going to click on stuff. So macro button. So let's see first if there's any profiles here. So you can save the profiles. There's a save button there. There's configuration for the analog stick. So you can configure the left stick, what is this? Effective scope, and right stick effective scope. So you can configure it for fighting, standard, racing type game mode. So you can see that there as I'm sliding, what's happening, right? You can also configure the left stick to act as a D-pad, which is interesting. You can configure the right stick to act as a D-pad. And you can also switch the D-pad and the right stick. So why would you want to do that? Maybe some games you'll benefit from using this as a D-pad. I'm going to change the left stick to a D-pad. Right, see what happens. Right, I don't know what the implications of that are immediately. I think it's going to act as a D-pad. So maybe for games that don't support analog sticks, but you want to use a stick as a D-pad, this is now emulating a D-pad. So maybe that's what it is. Let's go on to the vibration settings. So from here, you can adjust the vibration sensitivity, and yeah, okay. And as I'm switching it around, this thing is vibrating. Now you can adjust the left and right vibration mode to sensitivity independently. It's quite it's got a nice weighted rumble to the pad, and on full vibration, yeah, there we go. That's solid. So it's showing the battery life there as well, which is good. We've got 2 out of 3 bars. Is that right? 3 out of 4 bars. Button layout. So this is what it's all about, right? The customization. What's config first of all? Okay, let's leave that as it is. So you can load different configurations. I'm just going to do scan because I don't know what that. So this is to scan a barcode. So if someone's got a QR code they've uploaded, then I can probably scan that QR code and load up their configuration, which is really, really nice to see. Okay, so let's exit from the settings. Let's try some of the macro buttons. So M1, which is the left button, I can set macro of button M1 is what it says there. It's very, very small writing, so it's even difficult for me to read. I can make it a loop function, or I can make it single press, and then I can program my macros here, as you can see, right? So I can literally program whatever I want my macros to do, and they will do it. So that's really, really customizable. And then once you've done that, you go ahead and sync, and it syncs to the controller. So you're customizing on here. You're not fiddling with the buttons there. Once you've got exactly the settings you want, you sync back to your controller. Now, some of the other implementations I've seen for the macro recording is up to 60 seconds or certain number of keystrokes where you record your action directly on the controller. May or may not be easier, comes down to preference really. But that is also another option. In this case, what I'm seeing here is that you'll go through and you'll customize all your buttons. You can have each button customized to either its default button press or to another button. And then you can also do extreme customization for so duration. You can set duration. I think you can record the macros here as well. You can do extreme customization for the back two buttons, which is really, really interesting. So yeah, that's the app. I won't go too much on about it too much more, but that is the application. You can customize all the buttons. Let's just check this one button out on the front. I have no idea what that does. I probably have to read to figure out what this is doing. Maybe if I hold it, it will do something. I don't know. Maybe it's another home button. Who knows? It's probably going to be for... Well, it's got a light on it, which I couldn't see until I covered it up like that. You may or may not be able to see that. It's lighting up red. It's glowing red. None of the other buttons have got a backlight on it. If I hold it, it's probably going to allow me to do certain features. Yeah, there we go. So one of them is, so if you're holding that button and then pressing up and down on the analog stick, so you're holding it for a few seconds. Right, okay, so it does cycle color mode, so that's back to white now. If I press it once, it doesn't do anything. If I hold it, it went red for a second before. So question was, what did I do? Maybe I was here. Maybe the app was connected to it. Yeah, so when the app's connected to it, I can change the vibration there. And when I'm pressing left and right, it's not doing anything. So that's vibration intensity for left and right motors, which is nice that you can do that from the controller as well. And then you can probably also, you can program the macro buttons as well. So there you go. Pxn P50L controller for Nintendo Switch. Awesome controller. I should just add while I'm here, I've not seen anything that says it supports NFC, so you won't be able to use amiibos. This is the case with most of the third-party controllers. There are a couple that do support amiibo use. This is not one of them. There are many other ones from top third-party developers that also don't support it. Just a feature that you don't see on a lot of third-party controllers. But a great alternative to the Pro controller, just because of the macro buttons, comfortable. If you're not into the analog triggers and you want the standard buttons, then this is probably the controller to go for, because it's going to give you a lot of customization. We're going to see profiles coming out that we can download, stick straight onto the joypad without wasting too much time customizing stuff. And then you just crack on with it, right? So you can just crack on with your gaming. And if you want to switch profiles or you spend time customizing for a game, you don't then want to lose that customization. The fact that you can go into the app, save it, then customize for your next game, save that, means you can switch between profiles for different games very, very quickly. And I've not seen that with any of the other controllers, because you'd customize and then you'd have to customize again and again and again. And to be honest, you don't want to be doing that. So from that perspective, this company has got something really unique to offer in their hardware. And I'm hoping to review more of their hardware in the near future as well, because they've got a great lineup of peripherals, gamepads. They've got steering wheels and joystick, flight sticks as well. They all look really, really good quality and very, very good, favorable prices as well, to be honest. I think the price point is spot on for these products. I'm going to put a product link for this in the description. If you've got any questions, as always, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. I'd love to be able to answer your questions and also get the support of you for my channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.